We're working our way closer to kickoff of Campbell and its home opener tonight against the Central Pounders out of Chattanooga. Jim Freeman along with the head coach of the Cougars, Coach Dustin Price. Coach, it's taken forever to get here for the season opener tonight.
Yeah, it has. When you think back to previous year to get to this point, there's so much that goes on, a lot of time invested into it. So we're excited to get this season started.
Well, let's take a pause for just a moment. It's been 3 years ago this past Monday that the diagnosis for your son Jack came about. How's his status? What's his status tonight?
Jack's doing really well. He's over 9 months since his bone marrow transplant, which is, on average time they've told us that's when a relapse could occur, but so far everything's looking great. And, the big thing is getting through this first year, which the transplant day was November 2nd of last year, so we're right there. But he's doing great. You'll see him at the games this year, and he's up trying to keep up with his 2 older brothers. So it's we just praise God for where Jack is right now, and we appreciate everybody that's helped us so much over these past 3 years. It's crazy to think this is the 4th season that, as the head coach here, that we've been dealing with this with Jack, and so it's something that We've been through a lot as a family, but even as a community with Jack. But we just are so thankful for where he is right now, and everything's looking good, heading in the right direction. So we're excited that our whole family will be at all the games this year.
Boy, that is a nice change, absolutely. Maybe a tale of 2 teams tonight. A season ago, it seemed like your team was maybe the more experienced team coming into the game at Harrison against Chattanooga Central. Would you think it may be just somewhat that opposite tonight?
Yeah, they have their returning quarterback who was only a freshman last year, so he's still young, but he's got some experience, and a really good receiver out wide, number 13. That's going to be a tough matchup for us. And then they're on defense. They got a couple of defensive linemen that are really talented and really good and explosive. And we had a tough time with number 23 last year, and he's back. So it's it's definitely, they have a lot of returners. We have some returners in key spots that we're excited about that are ready for this moment, and then also we got some that'll be their first time out here on a Friday night, so we'll see how they respond to it.
Coach, take us through your offense. Obviously a young offensive line. Your Coach Kerr has worked with that group for weeks now and getting them ready to go. You have a proven quarterback, but not game proven just yet, and Landon Hensley, and of course Will Lester is going to be back in. Had to get that plug in for Brent. Will's going to be back in at a running back for the first time in quite some time. Take us through your offense, will you?
Well, like you were saying up front, Coach Kerr's done a great job with those guys, and Storms Webb's the only returning starter up there, but Caden King started a couple games last year, and then you got add Ben Russell, who's a senior that's playing center for us right now, who's done a really good job and really developed and prepared for this moment his senior year. Obviously, being the center for us is a lot of responsibility, and he's doing a fabulous job. Then Luke Carroll and Robert Kirby, 2 sophomores, will be starting guard for us, and those guys they've really developed through the spring and the summer, and there's no doubt that those 5 together collectively are ready for this, and they've got a huge challenge this first game with that defensive line. Obviously having Landon his first game, you never know what to expect as a quarterback your first moment out here, but the one thing I've kind of learned about Landon throughout this preseason and just having him in our program is he makes a mistake, but he learns how to correct it. He's self-motivated. He can self-correct things, which is huge for a quarterback. But I think this moment he understands he's only as good as the people around him, and I don't want him to feel the pressure that sometimes a quarterback can, and which leads you to the 4 receivers that we have that are all seniors that have played a lot of football that are ready. And if Landon just gets the ball out of his hands into their hands, he's going to have a good night, and in the end he'll probably get all the credit for it. And then obviously having Will at running back is going to be huge, especially with Landon right there, and Will's he's a strong runner. His ability to get short yardage is going to be big for us, and then in a scrimmage against Halls he took one over 50 yards, so he's got that speed too that I think can create some explosive plays for us, and we're excited about him and Blake Roberts carrying that load because both of those guys are key for us on defense.
Do you think Lester may be in perhaps the best shape of his career here?
Yeah, there's no doubt, and he knows that we're counting on him. Obviously on defense, he's our guy over there, but on offense, on the offensive side, he's a good runner. He's got good vision, and Will knows we need him, but also he's got to understand when he needs a break. Because it's 4 quarters, it's a long game, and but Will's one that we're going to try to get in the ball as much as we can tonight.
Well, of course, we've been talking offense, so we switched to defense, talking Will Lester. We'll begin there. If you'll take us through your defense for this season. Yeah,
obviously, defensively, you got to start with Will. A 3-year starter, started even some as a freshman, so you could almost say he's a 4-year starter. And 100 tackles, I think, the last 2 years at least. The last his sophomore and junior year, and Will. We'll expect a lot from him over there. He's got a new person next to him with the loss of Desmond Gilbert, so Peyton Gilbert's been kind of going to get that spot right there, and maybe a couple other guys will play it too. But Peyton's done a good job. He's a good football player, but at the same time, Will's going to have to take on maybe even more than he has in the past. And but we're excited about the defense. The outside guys with Caleb Muncie and Blake Roberts, both of those guys played a lot of defense last year, so they have experience. And the edge is so important in defense. If you've got to be able to set the edge, get contained, and force things either back to Will or if they eventually run out of room, go out of bounds. So I think those guys can do it. Secondary wise, this year is going to be unique. Kind of back, we've done this before where all 4 receivers are also the 4 starters in the secondary. Right. So Peyton Ferguson, Ethan Miller, Devin Jones, and Mason Shanks, where Ferguson and Shanks are the safeties, Miller and Jones are the corners. And those guys they've played a lot of football. They've had good preseason, and they're going to be ready both sides of the ball. And we'll expect those guys, when they get opportunity to make a big play, to do it, because that's what those positions are about. And we've all seen them do it already. So we'll expect some more of that this year. Defensive line wise, maybe a little quicker this year. So we got some guys that are Ethan Johnson, Dylan Marney are playing a little bit up front that are more outside linebacker type bodies, but are quick. Storm's going to start probably both ways for us at nose guard, and then Mikey Albright is playing the other tackle or end in a 3-4 set. So we're and we got I think Coach Kerr's got several guys he can rotate in there at defensive line, which is key. You got to be able to stop the run.
Okay, we go from offense to defense to special teams. How about our kicking game, return game?
Kicking right now, it's been Eli Austin and Noah Smith kind of handle it preseason. I think Eli will probably get the PATs. He's done a good job and continue to improve. He came out, from the soccer team, and so it's one thing about he's a first-year kicker too. So those are the things. That first one, we'll see how it goes, but he's worked hard at it. The timing of it is going to be key for us, and especially in a game. And I thought we've practiced well. He made both in the jamboree last week, and then Noah Smith just adding depth, and he's done a good job as well as a freshman. And Eli will handle the kickoffs as well. Shanks is back for the punter, who he's a phenomenal punter. He had a couple in some scrimmages that were against. Hall's scrimmage was really good, and when you got somebody like that back there, he can also kind of, if it's not a perfect snap or something, he can make something happen hopefully. But Ethan Miller's a snapper, and was last year as well. So you got some experience in snapping and holding, or snapping and punting is huge. Devin Jones is the holder, and then returners mainly Ferguson is back deep. But we rotate some of those guys through there. So it's some of those guys will be on the field a lot. They know it. They've kind of prepared for it. So, but all 3 phases are important, and you can't afford to any missed assignment in any 3 of those phases can hurt you. But and when you have an opportunity to make a big play in those phases, you got to do it.
No question about that. It's season number 12 for head coach Justin Price. It's gone by fast, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's crazy to think it's been that long, but it's every year feels you still get that excitement is here and in our community, and it's to think about where we are from year one. We've had a lot of history made in these 12 years, and a lot of great players that have come through here, and and playing at home. I think there for a while we won about 10 straight here at one point, and so we're excited to be here this Friday and playing in front of our home crowd on this turf. And this is a great place to watch a game. It's a great place to be.
Coach, we appreciate you taking time as always, and we hope you have fun tonight, and we'll see you after the game.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Head coach Justin Price and his Cougars set to kick off against Chattanooga Central here in just moments. Stay connected. The WLAF pregame program continues on the WLAF Tholish Tire Shop Sports Network.